For more than a century, scientists believed early human faces followed a predictable path. Not identical, not simple, but ordered. As time moved forward, faces were expected to change in recognizable ways. Brow ridges gradually reduced, jaws refined, facial proportions shifted toward what we now consider modern human anatomy. The fossil record was interpreted as a slow, directional process, variation within limits, but always moving forward. That assumption shaped textbooks, museum exhibits, and the way we imagined our own origins. Human evolution was taught as orderly and progressive, one form refining into the next, each step replacing what came before. It was a comforting idea, a story with direction, a sense that our ancestry followed rules. But science has a habit of challenging its own certainties. And in 2025, that sense of order quietly broke. Researchers reported the reconstruction of a human face from early fossil remains dated to over 1 million years ago, a face that did not fit the expectations attached to its age. The reconstruction did not reveal a transitional form nor a familiar archaic pattern. It revealed something out of place. Based on when it appeared in the fossil record, this face should have looked far more primitive. Instead, it carried features scientists believed should not emerge until hundreds of thousands of years later. It wasn't a new species, it wasn't a mistake. It was a human face appearing where it shouldn't have existed. Human evolution is often presented as a gradual transition, faces becoming flatter, brow ridges changing shape, jaw structures refining over time. By the time early members of Homo erectus appear, scientists expect a recognizable facial architecture, one that fits neatly within a known evolutionary trajectory. These expectations are not arbitrary. They are built from decades of comparative anatomy, fossil sequences, and population-level patterns observed across Africa and Eurasia. Faces change, but within limits that match their age and context. But the fossil record has a long history of resisting tidy stories. And this time it did so in a way that forced researchers to stop and look again. The reconstruction is based on the reanalysis of specific early human fossil remains dated to more than 1 million years ago. These remains were not newly discovered. They had been known, cataloged, and studied for years. But their true facial structure remained unresolved. The reason was not lack of interest or neglect. The skull fragments were incomplete, fractured, distorted by geological pressure, and warped by time. For decades, reconstructing the face with confidence was impossible. The technology simply wasn't there. Fragments hide more than anatomy, they hide proportion, they hide relationships between structures. And when the face is uncertain, so is the evolutionary story attached to it. That changed with modern CT-based digital imaging. Using high-resolution scans, researchers digitally reconstructed the skull, correcting for deformation and aligning fractured elements into their original anatomical positions. Areas compressed by geological forces were mathematically restored. Missing sections were rebuilt using comparative data from related hominin fossils. This process is not artistic invention, it is constraint. Bone landmarks dictate what is possible, muscle attachment sites restrict shape, structural relationships limit proportion. The reconstruction does not imagine a face freely, it narrows the range of what the face could have been. Only after those constraints are established can facial anatomy be added. Researchers incorporated statistically derived soft tissue thickness estimates, informed by both fossil hominins and modern humans. Multiple reconstruction variants were tested, each adjusting assumptions within accepted anatomical limits. Across versions, the same result persisted. The underlying facial architecture remained unusual. What emerged did not resemble what scientists predicted for its time period. It was not clearly transitional. It was not intermediate between known forms. It was strikingly out of place. The face displayed a combination of traits that rarely appear together. Elements typically associated with more archaic hominins coexisted with features thought to belong to later human forms. Certain proportions aligned with expectations from much younger fossils. Either these traits evolved earlier than expected, or multiple human populations were developing distinct facial morphologies at the same time. Both possibilities complicate the idea of a single, uniform path toward modern human anatomy. Importantly, researchers were careful about what this reconstruction does not claim. Facial reconstruction is not guesswork, but it is not absolute certainty either. The reconstruction does not claim to show the exact appearance of a specific individual. It does not recreate skin tone, hair, expression, or identity. Instead, it reveals anatomical limits, what the face could and could not have looked like given the underlying bone. This distinction matters. The strength of the finding is not in artistic detail, but in structural proportions. Across multiple reconstructions, the same unusual architecture remained. The signal did not disappear when assumptions changed. That consistency is what made the result difficult to dismiss. This reconstruction reinforces a growing realization within paleoanthropology. Early humans were not evolving along a single track. They were diverse, experimental, geographically complex. Rather than a clean progression from primitive to modern, human evolution increasingly resembles a mosaic, with traits appearing, disappearing, and reappearing across time and space. Different populations explored different anatomical solutions to survival at the same time. The idea of a normal human face may be a recent illusion. For most of our evolutionary history, humanity existed as multiple forms, some familiar, others deeply strange by modern standards. Many lived for thousands of years, adapted successfully, and then vanished without descendants. This reconstructed face does not rewrite everything we know about human evolution. It does not overturn decades of careful research. It does not replace the fossil record. But it does something just as important. It reveals how much variation once existed within our own lineage, how many different human forms lived, adapted, and survived for a time before disappearing. The past was not built for us. It was shaped by chance, diversity, and loss. We are not the destination of that story. We are simply what remains.